So I think it's that self-belief. I think it's, and this has come after my own training on this. It was training. It was, I didn't acknowledge at the time that inner critic, that self-talk that we've all got all of the time that's going on in our minds. And I hadn't tuned into that. But when you're not tuning into it, you're just accepting what's going on. I use the example, when I did start to tune into it, one day I caught myself, I dropped a pen, and in my head, I said to myself, "You are so stupid." And it was said with such venom. And once I tuned into that, I was like, okay, am I stupid or am I just a little bit clumsy? Is this actually true? And then if you think about, we know words have power, bullies, things like that. So actually, if you are saying things like that to yourself all day, every day, and you're not checking in on it, and you're not even aware that this is happening, because I wasn't aware. And once I tuned into it, I realized how many times a day I said to myself, "You're so stupid," or "You're an idiot." Like, if somebody else was saying that to you, you can imagine what the effect is. Imagine the effect if you're doing it to yourself. You are your own bully. So that was kind of, I think once I started to tune into that, or if I could have tuned into that at the time, I think I could have then challenged maybe what those thoughts were to then, and a simple question might be, is that true?
Right.
So in case, the example of dropping a pen, just asking, is that true? Am I stupid because I dropped a pen? Made me reframe it to maybe I'm a little bit clumsy. Or think nothing at all. And I think that would have been that would have helped. But I think all of that self-talk then led to those feelings because they were unchecked.
So it's all about thinking on your head, like what we talk about all the time. So sometimes it's negative thoughts, sometimes uncertainty about the future, and also the past experiences like making us like that kind of situation. And I can totally relate to when I started my business. I felt like a stupid because I quit my job and everything and just gone all in and just about to get bankrupt. Sometimes I feel like, am I stupid? Am I that? I don't, because I'm not meeting my potential, and also like quitting my job at the same time and going after something like we have no experience in. I don't know it's going to be work or not. So I can relate to that. Like you mentioned, like, am I going to lose this job? Am I going to be able to climb the ladder of it? The same can apply on a business wise as well. So I didn't know what am I doing. So every time I feel like I'm being stupid, I didn't make the right decision I needed to be. So I think it overcomes like with the time. Do you think it takes time? Like you need to calm your mind, and the mindset needs to be changed, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it is exactly that. It's starting to understand what you're doing to yourself, and then having the strategy to have a different thought process or something that you can refer to that reminds you why you're doing something in the first place, why you're good at doing that thing, because there's reasons that you've got to this point, and it's reminding yourself of that to counteract some of that negativity that maybe you're feeling.
And so like if someone is like having this problem, what will be like first step to get out of it? So obviously you coach your clients, so what's the first thing they need to take, or like you tell them to do something? What would be the first thing?
So I think it obviously depends on the individuals. I think first of all is maybe really exploring what is happening because of the imposter syndrome. How is it showing up for you? What's it maybe holding you back on, so you start to really get a full extent to how big a problem this might be. And also, are there patterns? As I mentioned, it ebbs and flows over time. So you might be feeling it now, but actually if we look back, has it happened previously? And if it's happened previously, you've overcome it. So actually, are there strategies that you've already had that have worked that we can use in this situation? Because often when we overcome something, we forget we move on so quickly, we
Yes.
forget what we did and we don't reflect on it. So yeah, initially it's that kind of exploration around what's happening, how it's showing up for you, because it is, like we said, it's different for everybody, there's different triggers, how we've got to this point, and then setting out that road plan for how we move forward. Then what I generally do is then we work a bit around self-awareness. So personally, I use a psychometric test called Everything Disc with people to promote that conversation. But you know, it's just talking around really how you communicate with people, what triggers you, what stresses you, what motivates you, what gives you energy. Because I think once we start to really understand ourselves, it comes back to that unconditional worth. Actually, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I showing up every day? And the fact that your job isn't necessarily you. It's part of what you do, but it's not necessarily who you are. And they're starting to see where those differences are.